What is up, guys? Quack Attack back here with a brand new video. It's been a minute since my last video, but starting to get back on track now, and coming back with a brand new Digimon deck profile. This is on my adventure deck. So a little bit ago, the last two, or the two latest starter decks, starter deck 20 and 21, which was Hero of Hope and Protector of Light, which took the original 8 Digidestin and their Digimon and put them together to create one deck for them. And yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's a very fun deck. But let's just go ahead and hop into it. So starting off with the egg, I am running 4 copies of Sunomon. Zoom in a little bit. So its effect is on deletion. I can return 1 Digimon card with the adventure trait from my trash to my hand. Then for the level 3s, playing 4 copies of Biomon, 4 copies of Palmon, 2 copies of Gabumon, and 3 copies of Gabumon, and 2 copies of Agumon. So, Biomon has an on-play effect where you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 Digimon card with the adventure trait and 1 such tamer or option card to your hand, and return the rest of the bottom of your deck. It's inherited is on your turn. It gets 2,000. This Digimon gets 2,000 DP. Palmon has an on-play to where you can trash 1 card with the adventure trait and draw 2 cards. And then all turns, this Digimon gets 1,000 DP. Gabumon's effect is that on your turn, while this Digimon has a Digimon with 1,000 DP, or your opponent has a Digimon with 10,000 DP or more, or your tamers have 3 or more total colors, this Digimon can Digivolve into Metal Garurumon in your hand for a Digivolution cost of 4, ignoring the Digivolution requirements. And then it's inherited when attacking once per turn, draw 1, and then trash 1 card from your hand. And Agumon has the same effect as Gabumon, except it can Digivolve into a Metal Greymon from your hand, and then its inherited has Reboot. So, now moving on to the level 4s. I'm running 4 copies of Birdramon, and then 3 copies of Togemon, and 3 copies of Kabuterimon. So, Birdramon's effect is on play when Digivolving. If your tamer with the adventure trait have 3, when your tamers with the adventure trait have 3 or more total colors, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the adventure trait from your hand without paying the cost. And its inherited is that this Digimon gets 2,000 DP on your turn. And then Togemon, on play when Digivolving, if your tamers have the adventure trait, or if your tamers with the adventure trait have 3 or more colors, this Digimon can Digivolve into a card with the adventure trait without paying the cost from your hand. So same effect, and then you get 1,000 DP on all turns. And then Kabuterimon, when Digivolving, if you have 1 or fewer tamers, you may play 1 tamer with the adventure trait from your hand without paying the cost, and it has piercing for the inheritable. Alright, and then for level 5s, running 3 Mega Kabuterimon, 2 copies of Garudamon, and 2 copies of Lilymon. So Mega Kabuterimon, on play when Digivolving, one of your Digimon unsuspends, then for every 2 colors your tamers with the adventure trait have, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then on your turn, once per turn, when your other Digimon is played or Digivolve, if any of them have the adventure trait, one of your Digimon gains Alliance for the turn, then one of your Digimon may attack. And then it's inherited, it has Alliance and Security +1. Security attack +1. Then Garudamon uh, effect is on play when Digivolving. For the turn, one of your Digimon gains Security Attack +1, and then for every 2 colors your tamers have, it gets 2000 DP. And then on your turn, once per turn, when your other Digimon are played or Digivolve into a card with the Adventure trait, one of your Digimon gains Alliance for the turn, and it may attack. And then it, too, it's herited, gains Alliance. And then Lilymon, on play when Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon, all of your opponent's 5000 DP or lower Digimon. Then, for every 2 colors your tamers have, return one of their suspended Digimon to the bottom of their deck. And then your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon is played or Digivolved, they can, and if any of them have the Adventure trait, one of your Digimon gains Alliance for the turn, and it may attack, and it's inherited as Alliance. Alright, for the level 6s, I'm running 4 copies of Metal Garurumon Ace, and 2 copies of War Greymon Ace. So Metal Garurumon has hand counter blast Digivolve, and then on play when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. And for every 2 colors your tamers have, add 1 to the effect's level maximum. And when attacking, and once per turn, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost, and has Ace Overflow -4. The more Greymon Ace, on play when Digivolving, until your opponent's turn ends. For every 2 colors your tamers have, their Digimon's effects don't affect one of your Digimon. Then when Digivolving and when attacking, delete one of your opponent's lowest DP Digimon, and it also has Ace Overflow -4. Right, then for the tamers, I'm running 3 copies of Matt and TK, 2 copies of Sora and Kari, 2 copies of Joe and Mimi, and 1 copy of Ty and Izzy. So, Matt and TK's effect on your turn: when any Digimon cards with the Adventure trait would be played from your hand, by suspending this tamer, you reduce the play cost by 1. And then your turn, all of your level 5 or higher Digimon with the Adventure trait gain Rush. And then its security effect is I could play it without paying the cost. And I'm pretty sure that's the same for, yep, all of them have security. Play this card without paying the cost. And then Sora and Kari's effect is at the start of your main phase. If you have a Digimon with the Adventure trait, gain a memory. And on your turn, when any Digimon card with the Adventure trait would be played from your hand, you could suspend this tamer and reduce the play cost by 1. And then Joe and Mimi at the start of your main phase, if you have a Digimon with the Adventure trait, gain 1 memory. And when any Digimon card with the Adventure trait would be played from your hand, you can suspend this tamer and reduce the play cost by 1. And then Ty and Izzy, your turn, when any of your Digimon cards with the Adventure trait would be played from your hand. By suspending this tamer, you can reduce the play cost by 1. And then on your opponent's turn, all of your Digimon with the Adventure trait gain Blocker. So, yeah. Alright. Then for the options, I am running 4 copies of Believe Our Friendship and 2 copies of Our Courage United. So, Believe Our Friendship. While you have a Digimon or Tamer with the Adventure trait on the field, you can ignore this card's color requirements. And the main effect is you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 card with the Adventure trait among them to your hand and return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Then place this card in the battle area. And then its main delay effect is that you can gain 2 memory. And security effect is that you play this card in the battle area. And then 2 copies of Our Courage United. Its effect is that if you have a Digimon or Tamer with the Adventure trait, you can use this card without meeting its color requirements. And then its main effect is that you can draw 2. And then all turns, when any of your level 5 or higher Digimon leave the battlefield, leave the battle area, delay effect, you may play one level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Adventure trait from your hand without paying the cost. And then its security effect is that you can place it in the battle area. So yeah, that was my adventure deck profile. Again, it was made by using 2 copies of the new starter decks, which was Hero of Hope and Protector of Light. This one is actually unopened still. I thought I needed 2 copies of this, but I really only needed 1. So you can build this whole deck with 2 copies of this and 1 copy of this, or at least just for the build I am running. But I'd still say pick up 2 copies of each, so then you can get a play set of each of the scramble cards, which are pretty good. And I'd say some main staples for any deck. But yeah, I definitely think that this deck can get improved. I know there's that white tie tamer card, but that's pretty. I know it's pretty pricey, but it does help the deck out a lot, and it makes it just that much better. But yeah, that was my adventure deck profile. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.